I'm going into my final year this September, so think of me as your older brother who's going to be real with you. The older brother who's trying to hammer down valuable information that I wish I knew back when I started in 2018. And I'm confident by the end of this video, you'll be more confident than I was when I started uni. I've narrowed my advice down to 3 core ideas, but I'm going to start with the conclusion, and for the rest of the video I'm going to be explaining that conclusion. I've also linked timestamps in the description, so feel free to whiz around the video as you please. I remember watching these types of videos when I got my offer for uni actually. I'd always look for that 30 seconds of value that I was looking for, so that could have been useful or insightful before I went into uni, but it'd always be really long videos and I just couldn't be bothered, so I just didn't watch them. So with that being said, the 3 things that you need to know before starting your engineering degree at the University of Sheffield is 1. Make friends with your course mates or at least course acquaintances. 2. Don't buy textbooks unless necessary or if you want to do extra reading. And 3. You need to become a better independent learner because you need to get used to that transition from 6th form to uni. And that's it. If you're here just to hear that, then it's calm. Consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. But for the rest of the video, I'm going to be going into more detail to elevate the value of my advice. I've also spoken to some of my friends from other engineering departments, and I'm going to sum up what we wish we knew in this video. Quick disclaimer, I've considered the government advice up to the point of recording this video, which is the 11th of July, and I've also considered the university updates up to this point. For this year, the engineering departments will be doing half face-to-face sessions and half online sessions. The face-to-face sessions will be things with a smaller volume of students, so that will be your tutorials and your seminars. The things with a larger volume of students, so mainly your lectures, will be online this year. If you want more information on this, the university has actually made a video on it, so I'll link it somewhere in the description, but please make sure you watch that so you're more up to date with how digital learning and teaching will happen for Sheffield. My first tip is to be friends with your course mates, or at least have course acquaintances. You will not understand the content first time round when you hear it in lectures. You'll actually need to revise in your own time for the concepts to be drilled into your mind, and this is natural. I'm not saying that to be negative, it's just facts. You do not want to be doing this degree by yourself, which is why I'm highlighting the importance of friendships in your course. You want to have someone who's got your back. Engineering is a team effort. When you leave university, all engineering jobs you'll be put into teams, so learn how to communicate and improve your people skills, and you can easily do this by searching tips online to do so. Be willing to help other people that are outside your circle as well in your course if they ask for it. I mean, you don't get extra points for leaving anybody behind or just being a waste man. Now, I'm not saying you should copy each other's work. I'm saying that you should help each other become competent engineers, and when people forget deadlines, let them know. When people needs help, just help them. If you think that you've found something useful online which could be helpful to others, share that with them. For us, we had a course group chat on WhatsApp, and it's been one of the most helpful chats that I've been in. If you struggle with starting a conversation with a random person, then ask for clarification on a topic. That should get some sort of conversation going. Since uni has gonna put us into groups in tutorials, for our tutorials, make the effort to get to know each person and build a deeper bond with that particular group. And it'll be like NCS. It's a bit peak if you didn't do NCS, but what I'm trying to say is that all of you will share a mutual struggle, and that's the tutorial questions or understanding the content. And this is a great opportunity for you to just ask each other and to open up, and then this is how the conversation gets going, and make the effort to get a little personal with them, as much as you're willing to, obviously. But just treat them as if you want to be friends with them. I'm not sure how it'll work for meeting other tutorial groups. Maybe that opportunity comes by, but I don't know. But focus on the people that you'll be put with in your tutorial groups and just make friends with them. So when you first go into uni, there's this hello period, which I like to call. So basically in this hello period, this is when freshers and new people going into university are more open to start a conversation with you and are more open to respond when you say hi. So this is why you should take advantage of this period. I would also recommend staying up to date with the Student Union website and the Residence Life. You should be getting emails when you get into uni about Residence Life, and there'll be opportunities to make friends. I'm not sure how many opportunities because of the social distancing and all, but when the opportunities do come, you take advantage of them. Unfortunately, they won't. Freshers Week this year will be really, really different. There's not like events every night, which I was fortunate enough to go back in 2018. So whenever there's an event, just try attend them, try the best you can. Obviously stay safe as well. The second tip is to not buy textbooks, and it's because everything is online. It's always been like this for when I started uni back in 2018, and it's going to be especially the case for 2020. For our uni, how content is online is you'll be given details for Blackboard, and this is where everything will be available for like 24/7. Your lectures, your assignments, your tutorial sheets, your lab sheets, your pre-lab sheets. During my first semester and my second semester, I even made the effort to go up to my lecturers and ask if we really needed to buy these textbooks, and pretty much all of them said no. All the content is online. They just kept reiterating that everything is online. All lectures are recorded, however they don't actually include what's written on the whiteboard. They only record what's on the projector in lectures, but you don't need to worry about that this year because, like I said, everything's going to be online. For how it worked for the last semester that I did is one of the lecturers used a tablet, so they'd annotate the slides themselves, something that they would have done on a whiteboard, so you're not going to miss a single thing. If it's like my last semester and lectures will be on Blackboard, just expect that it might be glitchy sometimes, or it might kick you out randomly. It's just how it is. Blackboard's pretty crap, to be honest. When it comes to the things that I didn't understand, I'd simply go on YouTube and, like I said, ask my mates and stuff, and I'd use channels like Free Blue One Brown and Khan Academy. Those two channels were the plug for understanding really complex things like the Fourier transform and Taylor series and a bunch of integration concepts. I also want to stress that there is no exam board for uni. Now, what does this mean? Back in A-level and back in GCSEs, our teachers will be preparing us for an exam which an exam board sets. The teachers don't know what will be asked in the exam, and neither do the students. However, in uni, your lecturer is the person designing the exams. And if you ask them what's going to be on the exam, they will all say everything that could be asked will be covered in the lectures, so really do make the effort to learn what they're trying to teach you. Alright, my third tip is to do with adapting to the learning environment from sixth form to university. What makes the content especially harder is because of how it is taught. I think if we was taught in a classroom, I wouldn't have problem with learning all this content, but this is university. The sheer amount of content that you gotta learn is actually quite mad. It wasn't until a couple of weeks in, actually no, it wasn't until the next semester that I realized that for one of my maths modules, we were actually doing a bunch of further maths and maths from year 12 and year 13 all in 1 year. We did vector product, a bunch of matrices, we did a bunch of solving first order and second order differential equations. We did a lot of complex numbers, considering polar coordinates, and a bunch of integration, differentiation, numerical methods, the whole lot. You'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, really do persevere with the content and don't shy away from problems you might have. Learning in university is different to learning in sixth form. In university, lectures is the main format of how content is delivered to their students, and it's been like this for hundreds of years. I'm not saying this to scare you, I'm telling you this because it's just facts. Lectures is actually one of the worst ways to deliver content to students because everyone in the lecture hall is different. I mean, you can't blame like one lecturer trying to communicate to 50, 100, 300 students in one hall. Everyone thinks differently. If you've also read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, you'll know what I'm talking about, because in the book it goes over the concept of the cone of learning, and it actually says that in lectures we'll only retain about 20% of what we hear. 20%. You could even argue that I'm actually lecturing you right now in this video, which you'll probably only retain about 20% of the information you've heard. So that's why I want you to leave this video with just the 3 core ideas in mind. Knowing that lectures is actually an inefficient way of learning the content, this is why it's so important that you learn how to learn. And unfortunately in sixth form and in secondary school and in primary school and even in uni, you're not really taught how to learn, which is why it's so important that in your own time you discover how you learn yourself. So there's a bunch of YouTube videos giving you a bunch of strategies and revision techniques. Even if you are the perfect student with the perfect lecturer with the perfect resources, which is like nobody, you need to adapt to the environment, and you do this by becoming a better independent learner. So there are 3 things that I have for you that will actually help you become a better independent learner, and it's something that I've learned for the past 2 years in uni, and I'm still learning till this day. 1 is to develop good study habits. You gotta have an effective way of studying, and you need to have a strategy. Like any sportsman, you have a game plan and you need to be consistent with your work. The second one sounds quite counterintuitive, but it's to stick with your hobbies and interests. The more learning you do outside your degree, the better your character will be. 3, prioritize the workloads and the plates that you want to balance in your life. I believe everybody can do anything they want, but they can't do everything, because we're only human. We only have 24 hours in our day, so you choose how that time is best spent. So back where we started. Before you start your degree in September, make sure you make the effort to make friends with your course mates, or at least course acquaintances. And the best opportunity to do this is within your tutorials, because remember what I said about the small volume of people, it's easier to break the ice and stuff and to really open up and start a conversation with them. The second tip was to don't buy textbooks, because everything is online. There's no exam board, so make the effort for your lecturers. Make the effort to learn what the lecturers are trying to teach you. And 3, to ease the transition between sixth form and university is to become a better independent learner. Acknowledge that lectures is one of the worst ways for students to learn, period. Which is why you need to own your own learning. Really find out how you learn as an individual. Unfortunately, yeah, lectures suck, but that's how the content is delivered, and this is how university is like. Really take the time to build those study habits. Take the time to go out of your own way to do those extra activities such as football, basketball, your own interests, maybe filmmaking, whatever it may be. Make the effort to diversify your interests, because that'll help you stay sane throughout your degree. I also recommend that you keep up to date with the university on our website. And that pretty much wraps up my advice and wisdom that I have to share for you today. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say now. Safe.